Hi everybody, I'm TheHande here. So here's a fun little video I wanted to do. As you will know, I am of course Finnish, and Finland a few years ago became kind of a popular subject for various memes, and I decided I wanted to take a few of these memes and basically just explain what the dealio is with a few of those. There are a couple that have been going around. Specifically, I'm focusing in on the Finnish language memes. Okay, so this one is one that a lot of people have probably seen, and it's this one where basically all of these different words in Finnish, or these different words in English: land, soil, ground, world, country, area, countryside, dirt, earth, suit, which I'm not entirely sure what that's referring to, and terrain apparently all mean ma. Well, of course, because ma is the key word there in reference to earth. Yes, this particular meme is accurate insofar as that, yes, that particular word ma can be used in informal cases to refer to all of these things. But this meme, of course, is a bit misleading because we do actually have separate formal words for pretty much all of these different words. So land in particular, in this case, if you are indeed talking about land as in the soil, the earth, then yes, ma is pretty much an accurate name for that. However, for soil or dirt, you would also use other words like multa is very commonly used. World is actually the first one that isn't entirely accurate. We actually have a separate word for that, which does contain the word ma, but it's maailma. That's what you call it. So the world wars, for instance, are called maailmansodat. Country is also one where I become a little bit iffy about using ma because I'm also a geography teacher. The formal word for a country in Finnish is actually valtio. But yes, in informal cases, when people say that they're going to a different country, they may use that word ma. Area is another one where it's technically not correct. The word that is more commonly used for area is pinta-ala. Countryside is another one where you can use that as an informal place. If you're saying that you're going to the countryside, with the case ending, you go maalle. But in fact, the full name for countryside is maaseutu. And yes, you can say planet Earth as in planeta maa, but in almost all cases, people actually use the term maapallo, which actually means the Earth globe. So yes, this meme is more or less accurate. I think the only one I take exception to is maybe the area one. That one I don't think you can really use it even in an informal sense. But yeah, this is more or less accurate. And I think personally do think this is kind of funny that as language users, we Finns are really so lazy that we just kind of use the same word to mean all these different things. However, these next couple of examples, actually, I'm gonna get a bit heated about. So yeah, this one, first of all, is technically not accurate because in Finnish, we call this particular comic book character also Batman. Do we also use that final word lepakkomies? Yes, in informal cases and sometimes in Finnish translations you might see it, but it's very rare. And also, Google Translate is a thing. If you used it and separated this compound word, you would realize that this is a direct translation of the words bat and man. Same is true for Spider-Man, by the way. And the thing is, nobody really uses the Finnish names for those superheroes. And what I also find particularly funny is that this is not even the weirdest name for Batman in another language that I've seen. This is what Batman is called in Swedish. And this is what it actually means. All right, this is another one that I'm not entirely cool with is the computer example, because especially in almost all of these cases, what they have done is just taken the English word computer and used that. I doubt in Polish, for instance, they even have a word computer for that. And also, may I say that computer is actually not a very good word to describe the thing that we call a computer, because a computer is something that computes. In other words, does mathematical calculations. I think we all can agree computers do way more than just that. This is an ancient, archaic expression, and we just use it because we don't have a better word to replace it with. However, picking on the Finnish example here, I think is completely unfair. Again, this is a compound word, and it's a combination of the words knowledge and machine. And alright, this one I get a little bit heated about because this one reminds me of the pineapple example. That's the other meme, how in literally all other languages this fruit is known as ananas. And in fact, yes, it's called that in Finnish as well. But that's just because all the other languages have basically just borrowed their own, have basically borrowed the word from other languages. In Finland's case, we either took ananas from either Swedish or German. Now, I don't frankly think it's fair to pick on English just because they happen to have a unique name for that particular fruit. But also in this case, it's very obvious to me that the word volume is just borrowed from other languages. But also, this kind of betrays another thing that people should already understand, that Finnish is not an Indo-European language. The reason this word, volume, is the same in all of these different languages is because these are all Indo-European languages. They are all related. That's why the word volume appears in all of them. People, Google Translate is a thing. This is a compound word, and it literally means the strength of the sound. Okay, and this one really gets me. Because first of all, there is a mistake here. They have put here cinema as the example of the English word for this, and sure, yes, there are people who speak English who do use this word to refer to the place where you go watch movies, but they use the American flag, because no self-respecting American would ever use that word to describe when they go to the movie theater. The flag that they obviously meant to use was this one. But also, I find this particular meme extremely offensive just because it is literally the exact same example. So again, this is a compound word from the words movie and theater. In other words, the theater in which you go to see movies. Alright, but let's end on something more positive because I was starting to get a little heated under the collar over that one. This one is actually really funny, and I'm going to have to make a very long explanation for this one. But as you can see, this is the kusipala meme. And yes, this meme is actually pretty accurate because indeed, those words kusipala do indeed mean all of these things. The only thing that I would maybe correct about this particular meme is the 6 of them. The of them is unnecessary. I don't know, the person who made the translations for these was being a little too literal in my opinion. Oh yes, and also the number 6. They could have just said, again, 6. In fact, I'm pretty sure the only reason they've bothered to spell them out is to make this list even longer. So what you really should be taking away from having read the entirety of this meme is that the word kuusi can mean one of 3 things. It either means 6, spruce, or moon. As for pala, it means either to be on fire, or in my view, the more accurate translation would be to burn, to return, and also the word pieces. Okay, so the first one, and this is actually very common, is that the Finnish words for the tree known as a spruce and the letter 6 are actually homophones. Both of those words are spelled exactly the same and said exactly the same. Now, as for moon, the actual Finnish word for moon is kuu. So you might be wondering, well, how did they twist that into kuusi? Well, that again has to do with Finnish grammar. Finnish is a fully inflected language. We have case endings for every occasion. And you might have noticed that in the meme it says your moon. So when you have an object that belongs to somebody, you have to use a case ending to indicate that. My moon would be kuuni, and your moon would be kuusi. Now I've just stressed that this your moon business is a bit of a stretch. There literally exists no example in real life where you would say your moon, unless you were literally holding like a model of a moon that you had specifically made, or which belonged specifically to you. But yes, if you were to use that particular case ending, your moon is also a homophone with the word spruce and the number 6. Now the return and to burn are also homophones, but only in specific case endings. So somewhat ironically, the Finnish word for burn, the neutral phase of it, in fact, the word pala, but the neutral form of the word return is palata. But again, you have to use case endings to indicate who is doing the action. For instance, if I was burning, I would say palan. If you were burning, I would say palat. And indeed, once we get to the third person, it burns, you get pala. And as for the return, and as you can probably guess from that, the third person case for the verb return just happens to be exactly the same as this. So if I was to return, I would say palan. If you were to return, I would say palat. And then if it was to return, I have to say pala, which is where we get the same homophones again. And you can probably guess that the same is also the case for the word peace. Again, just as with the word ma, there are actually other words that mean peace, but yes, pala is the most commonly used one. But the funny part is that the more common plural form for the word pala is actually palat, which ironically is a homophone for you burn. But if we are indeed using a neutral case here, in which the word peace is just preceded by a number, this is the case ending that you have to use for it. I forget what it's called. But basically this case ending is the same regardless of what the number in front of the word is. If it was 2 pieces, it would be kusipala. If it was 3 pieces, kolmepala. And the only exception is that if it was just 1 piece, which would be kusipala. So anyway, those were the Finnish memes. I hope I didn't bore you too badly with this little video. My only regret is that I didn't think to do this for Finnish Independence Day, which was on December 6th. The timing of that would have been really funny. Anyway, I'm TheHande. See you on the next one.